What is up, everybody? My name is LEG and welcome to another Dragon Quest XI goodness video. My guy, we're getting Dragon Quest XI videos back to fucking back. I'm telling you, bro, this shit is going to be litty as fuck. So we're doing some Dragon Quest XI video because we have to talk about the new news that came out on the bad guys of Dragon Quest XI, or as I like to say, the antagonist, or as I like to also say, the key figures of DELCADAR. So if you don't recall my previous video, not my previous video, a video a while back, but a video talking about the story of Dragon Quest XI. Basically, the story goes, the protagonist, which is you, the main character, goes to the kingdom of DELCADAR and to tell the king that you are the new hero and to ask him for guidance on what to do and stuff. Then the king proclaims you as a demon child because he hears that you're the hero. Therefore, it leads his entire army onto you, including the general captain Greg and the skilled strategist Homer, which we will talk about in a second. They all get on you, and then you're kind of running away from them the entire story, it seems, and that kind of seems to be the general gist. So the king is the one that's fucking up your shit the entire time, and the king is the one that's messing with your goodies, and we don't want him to mess with our goodies. So in order to make sure he doesn't mess with our goodies, let's learn a little bit about him before we actually get into the game of Dragon Quest XI. Okay, so the details regarding the Dragon Quest XI key figures of DELCADAR. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about each one individually, and then it's going to show some screenshots at the end, some new screenshots of these bad guys in action, and then we'll get some information in our brains, and then we'll be done with the video. Hello. Okay, so first off, before anyone else, the king of all kings, the king of DELCADAR, and the king of DELCADAR has this to say when it comes to the caption on Gamatsu. The king that rules over DELCADAR, not only is he praised as the wisest king in Lotozetasia, excuse my pronunciation, he is also a master swordsman and is regarded as rare in that he has all the qualities of a king. Although he is generous man, when an order is disputed, he is strict and austere in addressing it. I fucked that up a little bit, but you get the fucking point. He's the king, and basically he's kind of strict, even though he's cool and chill and he's a master swordsman, but he can be strict when stuff needs to be put down on the ground, and he felt like the hero needed to be put down on the ground, so he was kind of strict with that man, even though he probably shouldn't be strict. Now, what my question is the king being misguided by some sort of evil source, or is this actually what he believes? Does he actually believe that the hero is a demon child, or is someone like convincing him to believe that way? So that's what I want to know. I want to know if I'm gonna have to kill the king at the end of the game, or if I'm gonna have to like put him in prison or some shit, or I'm gonna have to fight the evil thing that's controlling him or persuading him to think that way, and maybe he'll find out the right way of his wrongs at the end. Maybe that's just my presumption. I want to know that. I want to know what the king's actual motives are, but they don't tell us that. So moving on from the actual king himself, let's go to the man in charge, the great General Greg. Oh, that guy looks fuego as hell in his render. The brave general of DELCADAR. There is none in the kingdom that rivals him in swordsmanship, and despite facing against monsters hundreds of times in the past, even now he is undefeated. He has strong loyalty and is willing to risk his life as a shield as long as it is for the sake of his lord. So that's really cool. So he's not necessarily evil, he's just really strong, a badass, and loyal to his king. So that makes me assume that if at some point we can convince Greg that he is that like the king is wrong, maybe he'll move to our side at some point in the game, because I've thought that from the very beginning, because Greg doesn't really look like a bad guy. He just looks like someone that's loyal to his king and like a really strong warrior. So he looks like someone that can move to the good side like eventually at some point in the game. So that would be cool. If that happens. But someone that won't be moving to the good side at some point is the one that we've heard the least about regarding the Dragon Quest XI bad guys, and that, my friend, is the cold-blooded strategist Homer. We heard about Homer just once in the Dragon Quest XI story details. So not the story details video, but the one regarding the Veronica and Senya new characters, and we heard all that story details. Homer was in one screenshot. I don't even think it was a PS4 screenshot. I think it was a 3DS screenshot. So the little article that it says on Homer is, the strategist of DELCADAR, skilled in the art of war. No matter the time and place, he has secured many achievements, such as destroying a large army of monsters with only a skeleton force. He is a character with accurate judgment and quick decisiveness who will execute a strategy based on the situation in order to secure victory. Okay, so can we just look at that again? Such as destroying a large army of monsters with only a skeleton force. A skeleton force, bro. So that makes me so it does say later on in some of the screenshots that Homer can wield magic and stuff, so maybe wielding magic also comes with the perk of being able to have your own skeleton army and stuff. That's going to be really cool to see in action. I do like the design of this character a lot. I really do. He does not seem anything like Greg. I feel like he's purely just a bad guy at heart, and it said cold-blooded, so I'm assuming that's how it is. And he seems like a cold-blooded strategist that would do nothing, and maybe he's gonna try to kill us at one point, and then Greg's gonna try to protect us at one point. Maybe that's gonna be the case, but you know, Homer is in the introduction of the game, and you do see him standing right next to the king in that opening scene, so that's gonna be really cool to actually see when he's in game and we see him in action and stuff, because we haven't seen anything on him really yet. So that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice. Okay, now that we're done with all the bad guys, we talked about the king of DELCADAR, we talked about Greg, and we talked about Homer. Now let's go talk about these screenshots that came out regarding these heroes. So first of all, let's talk about the screenshot that was in the opening movie. You already seen this, but this is what Homer and Greg and the King look like. This scene is in the opening movie of Dragon Quest XI. It came out ages ago, and we didn't really know who any of these characters were, but that's that. And then there's a little 3DS screenshot right here of the King like going like, oh, demon child. So that's happening. And then if you go even further down, you can see the protagonist, which I believe is him roaming around in the kingdom of DELCADAR, talking to peeps and stuff. Okay, so let me go down even more, and there's little captions next to the screenshot. So if I'm reading something and you don't see the captions on screen, it's because, like, you know, they're little one-sentence captions. They're not that important. It says right here in this screenshot of the king like swinging a sword at this guy, the king himself is a master swordsman worthy of the position to rule over the great nation of DELCADAR. Okay, so god damn, look at that shite. Oh my god. That makes me assume, like, is the king going to be a character that we can fight at some point in the game, or is he for some reason gonna have to be a temporary sidekick? Like, like, how is this screenshot possible? Why is the king fighting? Is he gonna be like a temporary party member at some point in the game, or is he going to be like fighting monsters and we're gonna see him fighting monsters in like a cinematic of some sort or something? That's gonna be really cool. Just the fact that he's a master swordsman already has me intrigued on this guy's character. So then let's move on to the next screenshot, where it shows Greg, a statue. In a certain town, a statue was built in honor of Greg's military prowess. Okay, so I'm assuming it's a certain town in DELCADAR, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it's Greg's hometown of some sort, and I assume Greg has a backstory, so we're gonna be able to hear that, and that probably is linked to it in some way. That would be really cool if it was. And then let's move on to the next screenshot, my personal favorite out of all the screenshots we have so far. Homer leads his, the man Homer, bro, look at that man pointing his finger like, go, I'm a strategist, go over there, it's like Fire Emblem, go. Homer leads his unit with clever commands to accurately corner his enemies. That's really cool. I like that screenshot a lot. I like his outfit a lot too, looking fucking shiny as shit. And then let's go down to the 3DS screenshots, and now we have Greg's loyalty to his lord is strong, and the king's command takes priority over anything else. So that's a little screenshot of Greg on the 3DS version, which we've I don't think we've seen that specific one before, but we've definitely seen a 3DS version of Greg before in other screenshots and stuff. So nothing too big. And then this one, okay, this one's my favorite screenshot out of all of them. This that needs to become a meme. That might be my new profile picture right here. Homer. Look at this man. Look at him. He's like, I will eat your pussy with a magic ball. Oh my god. So this is basically Homer. As I said before, he can kind of use magic, or it seems like he can at some point in the game, and not at some point in the game. Hello? It seems like he's like that's kind of his forte, being a specialist in strategy and being a specialist in magic, cause hence his skeleton force that we were talking about earlier. But Homer is a man of strength who can also use powerful magic on the battlefield. Yeah. So that's that. I like that screenshot a lot, which makes me so enticed to actually play the 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI in Search of Departed Time. So that's kind of all the news we have. Those are all the renders that came out. Those are all the screenshots that came out regarding the bad guys or the antagonists or the key figures of DELCADAR, as we said before. So tell me, which one out of the three is your favorite so far? Which one do you think will be to your liking the most? Do you think you like Greg as a loyal warrior to the king? Do you like Homer as a snarky little bitch strategist that likes to sit back and not do anything? Or do you like the king of DELCADAR, who's actually a master swordsman himself, yet fucks you by calling you a demon child and got you on this adventure? But at the same time, he got you on this adventure, and if you weren't on this adventure, you wouldn't be having Dragon Quest XI. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Tell me what you guys think about that in the little I button in the top right corner of the screen. Tell me how hyped you are for Dragon Quest XI in the comments down below. Don't forget to click that like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button for more of that Dragon Quest XI goodness. My name is LEG, and I will completely be happy to see you guys later. Deuces.